Welcome back, Internet. Did you miss us? You missed us, I can tell. We're back again, Tom and Chris, for another of our scintillating videos. And today we will be talking about... What are we going to be talking about?
Batman Arkham Knight.
Batman...
First impressions
Arkham
of the trailer. Arkham Knight.
Arkham Knights. So that's the...
Singular.
Arkham Knights, got it. So that's the
You
sequel...
said it again, Knight.
Yeah, the sequel to Boogie Nights.
Starring Mark Wahlberg.
And Christopher Walken.
Christopher Walken. Is he in Boogie Nights?
Sounds great. No, but this is... I just think it would be funny if he was.
No, it'd be good. Okay. We're going to take the reins on this one because Tom's taking a trip to Ad-Lib Town. So this is the trailer. It's out now for Batman Arkham Knight. And yeah, we just want to give you what we thought. We've just watched it a couple of times. I'm happy. I'm excited. Tom, are you excited?
Very excited. The only problem I have with that video is that I couldn't find any of the Easter eggs that I know are in there, and I know you guys are going to tell us all about. Or we'll
like retroactively look back and like, of course, there's that big clown face there.
Of course, the broken up sign actually says, Harley Quinn DLC.
Yeah.
Lol.
Buy it
now. Exactly.
Okay. So things I noticed that have got me excited, jazzed up.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, it's by Rocksteady again. So the last game, Origins, was Warner Brothers Montreal, and it was a good game, but it wasn't. It wasn't of the quality I expected.
Mm-hmm.
Way too many bugs. The company just, I don't think, was quite set to handle it.
Mm-hmm. And now it's back to Rocksteady, so safe pair of hands.
Steady hand at the tiller.
Produced Asylum and then City, which was massively expanded but didn't suffer quality-wise.
Not at all. Not in my opinion. So I'm very glad that Rocksteady are doing this because I just think we'll get a better quality of game out of it. And also, just something a bit bigger. I felt Origins, it was all sort of built... It didn't really... I don't know, the plot kind of meandered a bit for me, and I don't want to... Fuck Origins, I don't want to talk about Origins. So Rocksteady, first thing I noticed, second thing I noticed was that the graphics look incredible. Obviously they always do in trailers.
Of course. You can't judge a sort of cinematic trailer, you can't judge a game's gameplay when you're not seeing any of it, but even so, even in this day of age of wonders of game trailers, that was pretty spectacular.
And for all intents and purposes, it should be graphically superior because it's going to be on the Xbox One, PS4, and PC.
Mm-hmm.
So none of the lesser consoles, the previous generation consoles, are getting a bite of the cherry. So I'm gonna presume that graphically it will be quite special.
Mm-hmm.
I certainly hope so. Lot of Batmobile featured quite heavily.
New style Batmobile.
Yeah.
Well, kind of
quite sexy, very Nolan.
Yeah, quite. No, actually, when I saw that, I didn't think Nolan. It edged towards a little bit of a dark area for me, and that is Michael Bay's Transformers. And I thought any closer to that bullshit, and we're in trouble.
There's a line.
I think it just
line in the sand.
I think it stopped just shy. I think it did an excellent turn. Maybe trashed some Gotham City taxis on the way, but it stopped just short of the line of going to Michael Bay Town, which is good.
Sidebar: that cabbie's life is fucked.
Pretty much.
Thanks, Batman. Thanks for all helping the city and whatnot, but you've ruined you've totaled my cab. It's a write-off.
No insurance companies.
That's my livelihood.
Gotham-based insurance companies, I'm sure, have put in a clause saying any destruction caused by the Batman.
Acts of Bat.
Acts of Bat will not be covered by this policy, and everyone.
Nor should they be.
Everyone accepts that. Everyone accepts. And the villains whom he fights.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I didn't think. Aesthetically it might look a little bit Transformers, but it didn't. What winds me up about Transformers is the stupid things that they do, and what tends to wind me up about over-the-top Batmobile scenes in the movies and stuff is like is it Batman Returns or is it the first Batman where the sides of the Batmobile just strip off to reveal it being like this long?
Oh yeah.
I was like, what made you think that would be a feature that you would need or possibly ever use?
I think it was actually one of the later Batmans. But yeah, I know
like
what you mean.
completely ruining the fucking car was part of one of the built-in features.
But that's how he got down the alley, so it did work.
Contrived,
as it
I just thought it's so fucking stupid, and stuff like that really annoys me. I can understand like a jet-powered jumping mechanism.
Sure.
You know, and even I mean they explained that all very.
The turntable in Batman Returns was quite cool.
Yeah, and
slow and a bit shit.
Yeah, so. And they explained it all really nicely in the Nolan films, like it's for jumping over ravines and doing bridges.
Oh
and shit
yeah,
like that.
yeah, definitely.
So and it did look quite like the one from the Nolan films.
Yeah, the Batmobile was cool. It looked pretty spectacular. So I was impressed.
I'm hoping that is a new, not tacked on and shit feature, but a new addition to the game that enriches it.
Some actual Batmobile
Yeah, because I
driving.
mean, in the first game, the Batmobile, correct me if I'm wrong, in the first game I think it only appears once, very briefly.
Yeah.
Where he knocks Bane over with it.
Out with it, yeah.
Which was quite cool.
Mm.
And obviously you see it in a few of the cutscenes. I don't recall it being used much of at all in
City.
No, it wasn't used at all in Origins. Origins was all about the Batwing.
The Batwing. Mm-hmm.
And even then, that was just a fast travel device. It wasn't cool. So I would like to see maybe not driving sections, but some sort of Batmobile involvement that isn't
some sort of Batmobile gameplay would be pretty cool.
Yeah, especially if it's kind of like in the trailer where it's like I'm gonna pull up the Batmobile, I'm gonna jump out, I'm gonna straight into a guy's face, and
so that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that they got quite a lot of screen time suggests that maybe that's the case, unless it's a bit of a cocktails. But
they've been known to do that too. But I trust Rocksteady. Yeah. I trust them quite a lot, and I think they're going to deliver us something.
Cool. Villains,
plenty of them. So I saw Harley Quinn, Penguin, and Two-Face for the one.
Yeah.
The ones
I was looking out in the sort of the background,
the peripheries,
for any extras, but
maybe just like have it all like Mad Hatter off the corner or something like that.
No, but couldn't see any. Not that there isn't any, but
no. And I mean that's what one of my favorite things about the Arkham games is the inclusion of the side quests, like Deadshot side quests and Mad Hatter ones and stuff like that. Oh, and Scarecrow. Sorry, Scarecrow was there. He was narrating at the start. I think this. I'm assuming chronologically this is going to take place after City, because City was more or less dead on after Arkham Asylum, so there's no space between those games. I don't think it's in the past. I'm pretty sure it's set in the future. And to those dedicated Arkham fans like myself, might well remember that the end of Arkham Asylum. Spoilers. Yeah, I better get into the habit of that. I'm going to flash a big graphic across the screen.
Yeah, good idea. What, that says spoilers?
Spoiler alert, something like that. Yeah. Maybe I'll make a custom one in the future. But so it ends with Scarecrow grabbing like the Titan virus or whatever it was. We'll call it the T virus. And fucking swimming off with it.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to be the central bad guy. And Two-Face, Penguin, they're maybe going to be involved in his plot, but I think he's going to be at the core of it.
Oh, that's what people are crying out for, really. I seem to remember there being a lot of complaints to how he wasn't featured. He was a great addition to Asylum, but not
used in City.
Yeah.
I think a little bit of time away, not necessarily a bad thing.
No.
All I ask is that they give the Joker a rest for one game. I love the Joker. I think he's a great villain. But every time you put him into a subsequent game, particularly after, spoiler alert, the end of Arkham City, I won't say it, but he dies.
And if you didn't want to know what happens to the Joker, you should probably stop listening now.
Then what okay, Origins was a prequel, but I just don't think we needed to hear that story again. And I don't think people were crying out for another Joker-based game.
No, there's enough interesting villains to let someone else have the limelight, and a change is as good as a rest is often the case, except when you change studios. So that's not good. Bring it back to Rocksteady, which is what they've done. So.
Yeah, thank God.
So that's
I think they might be considering doing like a dual studio release, like Call of Duty do, like Rocksteady does one, then
Oh, okay.
WB
Cool.
do. I don't know. I have no idea.
So if you like their style,
Yeah.
or you like if you like Montreal, or if you like
or if you'll just buy both of them, you know, then like me.
Boom, they got you.
They got you by the short and curlies. But I mean, this will be something fun to watch in like a year's time once we've played it, because a lot of this will turn out to be wrong.
As is always the case. But that's half the fun, though, I think. It's like, oh, how naive we were.
One last thing I want to point out.
Yeah, sure.
Is what I did notice was Robin isn't featured in the trailer again. And I don't know why, but every time there's a new game, I really expect him to feature quite heavily, because he turned up in Arkham City as that in that little cutscene, just to have a bit of brief interaction, and then ran off again.
Yeah.
And was featured in some of the DLC, and obviously wasn't involved in Origins in any way. And so I'm thinking, every time I'm expecting the game to open him up as like a character to have his own sort of branch of the story, or perhaps even try and introduce a co-op element to it. I don't know if they could do that, or if it would even be worth doing, but I always expect it, and it never happens.
Is he still good fodder for DLC potentially? Do you think?
Yeah, I mean we haven't even seen all of the Arkham Origins DLC yet. There's one of those coming out soon, which I'm sure we'll do something about close to the time. But yeah, I mean I'd certainly expect he'll be like a downloadable character or something for the map packs as usual. But yeah, I want to see him. I want to know which Robin it is, because there's three potential, alter egos. It could be. So I want to know which one of them it is, and I just kind of want to know his story and how he in this universe fits into the sort of the Bat life.
Yeah, well, that'll be interesting to find out in the fullness of time. Are you kind of leaning towards one way or another, or hoping for one or another, or
what? Which Robin? Which?
Yeah.
No.
Whatever.
I
don't care.
It'd be cool if it was Dick Grayson.
Yeah. Chris O'Donnell back in the saddle. That'd be great.
But I think where they had Nightwing in one of the DLCs previously, who is Dick Grayson, and what he becomes, I would assume that it would be. If I get this wrong, the internet is going to have my ass. Tim Drake, I think, is the name of the most.
Oh, is that your final answer?
Let's say yes. Tim Drake, I think, is the most recent Robin. And then the one in the middle, Jason Todd. Spoiler alert: the Joker killed him.
Okay.
But that was like in the 90s, I think. So
got it.
I've almost definitely got that one wrong.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, so I think the most recent one would be good.
Right.
As well.
My final thoughts, just to wrap this up. Just a small observation I made from the narration, the father to son, the bit from his will. It's nice and it's sort of moving to like, oh, you're a great man and don't waste it on flash cars and outrageous clothes. Haha, very, very funny. I see you've done that. But then there's a bit towards the end where he says, "In death, I will always love you," and there's a very weird intonation on it. Like it's like he's saying, "In death, I'll love you. In life, you were a prick and a disappointment."
Like, at least in death, I will always love you.
At least now that I'm dead, I can fully appreciate that I have a father's love for you.
Yeah.
Until that guy shot us outside of the theatre, I was ambivalent at best towards.
Yeah. I think I gotta say, actually, in terms of just analysing the trailer away from what it means for the game, I actually really quite dislike that narrative device. The father, or like the old advice giver's last words, or their last will intensive
mentor.
Or, talking over a montage of what's happening, usually with some sort of ironic twist.
Yeah.
It's been used a lot, and it's usually full of tortured metaphors, and sometimes you just think, these were supposed to be his last words. He talked for 20 minutes. How much time did he have? How
Exactly.
telegraphed was his death?
Exactly.
that
You
could just,
are
like-
young, but you're destined for great things. Like how did you know you were going to die when you was young? So like, would you
Yeah.
go back to the lawyer's office every 5 years? Like, you are middle aged, but you're destined for great.
I better
things.
re-record it. He's like 50 now. He's gonna think I'm taking the piss.
You're old, but I hope eventually you'll do some great things before you die.
I appear to have outlived you, Bruce. I'm gonna stop recording these messages now. Maybe you should have recorded something for me.
I am old, and this was a waste of time.
I've dedicated my life to these messages, and giving lengthy life advice. I mean, I genuinely think my last words, if I had time, would maybe just be like, look after your mum, kids, be good to each other.
Feed the
I'll
cat.
always love you. Yeah, like something nice, but something fairly non-specific and quick. I can't honestly see myself lying there saying, and if you do ever get into trouble, think of your city, think of your people.
Remember the bat grapple
Yeah,
that you've had.
yeah. It's always stuff like I'll tell you what, and then I promise I'll go, and I promise we'll stop the video. But complete tangent. Have you seen The Amazing Spider-Man?
No, the new one. No,
Yes.
the newest. No, I haven't.
Okay, well, there is one more spoiler. His uncle... But everyone should see this coming. His Uncle Ben. Is it Uncle Ben?
Uncle Ben,
Or is that
yeah.
the type of rice?
It's
also Spider-Man's uncle.
Yeah. It's
Uncle Ben dies, which isn't,
everyone knows that.
isn't a big shock. Yeah, it happens really late in the film.
Right.
Compared to the other film and
Yeah.
presumably the comics. But anyway, so he dies. He tries to call Peter, but he can't get through, so he leaves him a voicemail. Not knowing that he was going to die,
Yeah.
he leaves like a 10-minute voicemail giving Peter just some life advice.
Big enough spiders, generally.
Yeah, just like, Peter, I know you're a good kid, and I know you didn't mean to get angry at me. All right, fair enough. And then he's like, in the future, look after yourself. Look after those around you. You're my hero. I quite like that film, but that was fucking awful. That part, and it's
A bit hackneyed.
but it's that sort of thing again.
Sure.
But I'm sure, and I'm hoping that's just more of a trailer device than
Mhm.
what's going to turn out to be sort of an incredibly grating plot narrative.
Yeah, I would imagine it's probably the format. Right, let's wrap this up. So,
Wrap this up.
apart from the over the top father eulogy will thing,
Yeah.
great looks great.
Yeah, definitely.
Interesting aesthetic. Cool villains. Hopefully, Scarecrow to be the main
Yeah.
antagonist.
Yeah.
Looks great.
Looks good.
Pretty exciting.
Excited.
Looking forward to it.
Rocksteady.
Exactly, and Rocksteady back in
Yeah.
the saddle. So
It's looking good.
I think it would be madness if it wasn't a great game. I will put my my money where my mouth is.
I
I'll
think
eat my hat if this
Yeah.
game isn't good.
What you heard it here first. You will be watching Tom eat his hat if this game doesn't live up to its reputation, but it will. I'm confident. Okay.
Perfect. Well done.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks, Internet.